Hello, and welcome back to another solo dolo episode of Ascension with V. I am your host, Stashia Jeanette, aka V, and today we're going to be diving into a topic that as always, I'm going to set out with this topic of staying committed to the process even when you can't see the progress. And because it's hard, it's really, really hard, and I think it's something that a lot of people take for granted when you're starting out on anything new. Like, I posted an oracle reading. I think it was last week's oracle reading on my Patreon. If you are not a member of my Patreon, you should definitely go over and subscribe to it. It's just Ascension Oracle V on Patreon, but you can also just buy individual episodes, whatever you're called to, in my products. I have offerings over there as well, but this nonetheless. But me saying this was I posted this oracle reading where the energy that was coming through whoever I was picking up on, right, their general readings. And so how my readings work, I've explained it before, is I feel energies of people who have interacted with me or people that I have a soul contract with this incarnation or from past life incarnations, but mainly present incarnation time. And so anytime an energy exchange is happening, especially on a frequent basis, like somebody frequently interacts with a story of mine on Instagram, somebody frequently interacts with a reel, interacts with a post, sends me a message, something of this nature, it's energy exchange that's happening. And so the more frequently that it's happening, whether you like something, whether you comment on something, whether you send a message, whatever it is, it's an energy exchange that's happening between me. So I'm able to pick up on people's energy that way. And again, as the aforementioned ways. And whoever I was picking up on, this group or batch of conglomerate of energy was feeling like really, really down, like was feeling the pressure heavy of the fact of like starting out on like a new business venture type situation, but being like very quickly frustrated with feeling as though the efforts were not yielding rewards, like, slaving away at plowing the field and sowing the seeds, but then not seeing like an equal, like a return on investment, a yield from that particular crop. And like perceived amount of time that we think is acceptable. Speaking from personal experience, always just speaking from personal experience, God source universe does not play the instant gratification thing ever. And when you try to do the thing of micromanaging the universe, when you try to play the role of God source universe, when you try to force your will on making things happen, be it by like working 1,000 hours, getting no sleep, and pushing yourself past the brink of exhaustion and like into into like decrepit death, like decrepit zombie walking kind of mode. You're not really doing anything other than like harming your physical vessel, because I give the example frequently. You can put in 1,000 hours of work or 1 hour of work and get the same result, because that 1 hour of work that you have put into more than likely is an hour of work when you're in the flow state. Like an hour of flow state creativity is that 1,000 hours of work. Like so much stuff can be done and accomplished quickly. But beyond that, God's Source universe is only going to unlock certain doors and allow certain things to come in when the timing is right, when everything is aligned. All that's happening is like a very well oiled machine. You know what I mean? Like there's everything runs in accordance with something else. I always give that baton example where something external typically has to happen to hand you the baton before you can go and do X, Y, and Z, or the platform has to come to you and pick you up when it's time to move you forward for something. Everything is by design on divine timing, and you can't make things happen any faster than they are predestined to happen. I know this so well because again, I'm approaching my 1 year of a launch of Ascension Oracle V, and it's rough. I remember when I was in my business classes, my business mentor was telling me a lot of people don't see their first check. Like they don't cut themselves an actual paycheck from the money, if they make any money from the money that they make for the first 3 years of having their business. And like, it's no joke. It's not, and he kind of like gave it to me straight. Like, there's going to be a lot of like sleepless nights. There's going to be a lot of like stress. There's going to be a lot of times where you're frustrated, and you have to remember your why. And like, it's the most redundant thing ever to hear. Like, what is your why? Know your why. Do you know your why? Why are you doing this? Why? And, but from a spiritual aspect, when God Source Universe asked me some time ago, a couple of months ago, 5 months ago or so, when I was coming back from a doctor's appointment, why are you doing what you're doing when a lot of people don't even know what it is that you're doing? Right, say that 7 times fast. But, and me being my smart aleck, I was like, because you told me to, and not wrong, but God Source Universe was like, Mer, that's not it. And so really, what was the answer? Why are you doing this? Number one, why did you volunteer to incarnate here in a physical vessel at this crucial moment in Earth's history? Let's start there. And then number two, why did you take on the role, the positions, and the missions that you have signed up for? And then beyond that, why are you doing what you're doing right now for the highest good of all, when like the highest good of all will probably never know the fullness of what it is that you're doing, and it took me a little while to like come to the realization of it, but it's something that is so deep rooted in my soul. It's something that I'm so fired up and passionate about. Like, that Aries rising fire in me burns 1,000 suns for this, and it's for this ascension process. The Earth Project is something that is and has always been very near and dear to my soul. Every incarnation that I have been on this planet, in a physical vessel or in a spiritual vessel, or in a light vessel, regardless, it made no difference. I always came here because of that burning passion and desire to the commitment that I have for Mother Earth, for this Earth Project, and the betterment of humanity, the betterment of the people of Earth. And I guess that's with me. That's me. And I hate injustice. I hate when, I hate bullies. Like, I'm gonna leave it there. I hate bullies. And I've always been that way, even from being like a small child. I hate when, I don't like bullies. I don't like that. Even an example I would give is the Predator, like the Alien movie, like the Predator versus Prey, or whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called. The Alien movie. But they had like a moral code that people who were weaker than them, people that couldn't defend themselves, children and the disabled, they would not harm. You know what I mean? And it's I live for that whole thing of do no harm. Do no harm, but take no shit. It's definitely my standard, my code of ethics there. And so that is my why. Like, I want to show people, number one, that you can fall into the abyss and get out, but it requires like a constant commitment to yourself. It requires you to be in it for the long haul, because it makes no difference whether you're doing something as a new business venture, or whether you're doing something, just as a personal venture, trying to get out of the abyss, trying to get out of the dense zone of hell on earth. Whether you're trying to just turn your life around, whether you're trying to, you've come to the realization, oh shit, I sold out for, material fortunes, but like my soul has shriveled up and died, kind of thing. And now you're trying to like breathe life back into yourself, breathe life back into your soul, breathe life back into, your connection with God Source Universe and the divine. And whatever the case may be, it's a process, and it's hard. It's incredibly, incredibly hard. And like, I'm a no frills, no fluff person, and I say it, I hope at this point, but again, I know there's people who are just now tuning into me, who are just now like discovering me, and because I'm just now starting to sprout above the surface. But yeah, it's really hard. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, but it can be done. Like, I was in the trenches, like of the Mariana Trench, like the Challenger Deep of the Mariana Trench, and I did it. God Source Universe asked me why I chose to do this. It beats to show that it can be done. To be kind of that like walking testament, of look, this, if I did it, you can too. Look at all the shit that I was up against, and look at me still going with things up against me. Like, you can do it. Don't continue to have that victim mentality of being like, oh, this is what happened in my life, and so many bad things have happened, and so many bad things are happening to me, and this, that, and the third, in my past, in my childhood, and the trauma, and the abuse, and the this, and the that. And yeah, it sucks. Nobody's discrediting that. Again, I've been there, so I can speak on it on a real level. It sucks. But at some point in time, you have to make the choice within yourself to be like, you know what, this ain't it. This is not it. This is not it for me. I'm not with it. I'm not okay with this anymore. I need better. Something's got to change. And that something that has to change is you making the decision to do better, to achieve better, to have better for yourself, and to no longer allow whatever kind of influences or experiences or people or things to have access to you, have a hold on you, have an effect on you. And your goal at that point becomes doing whatever you have to do to get out and change, to rise above, to flip your circumstances, to alchemize your negative experiences into something really beautiful and powerful, because all of us have an internal alchemist, an internal magician within us, where we can change whatever it is that is inherently negative that we've been experiencing into something beautiful, into something positive, into that fuel to amp us up, to keep us going when things aren't great. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's speaking from a personal experience thing, but it's work. It takes a lot of time, again, going back to this beginning example, regardless whether it's you doing a new business venture or it's you trying to get out of the Mariana Trench, you are not going to see immediate results. You're just not. It took me 8.5 years. It took me 5.5 years to realize what my patterns were while I was still in the Mariana trenches, and what it was that I was doing that I then had to stop doing and correct. And then, you know what I mean? After I made that decision, like, you know what, I'm going to do better for myself, it took me an additional 5 years to then start to understand what things were impacting me. Like, again, it was the medication, it was the alcohol, it was the people that I didn't need to have relationships with, the people that I didn't need to have around me. It was the food that I was eating, it was the environment that I was in. Like, all these things were things that I had to take a long amount of time to understand, become aware of, and then change, like to start the process of elimination of things and purge through it. So 5.5 years have now gone by, and I've not done anything on the external, right? Like, this is all internal work. So let's flip back to a business venture thing. You are starting out great. You have the idea of what it is that you want to do. You have the business plan. You have the grand ideas and the things, and you're like putting stuff out there, but like, and then you're like, ta-da, here it is. Now come one, come all, everybody come get what I got. Like, that's not it. Like, it's consistency. You got to keep doing that and showing up like that with that same energy of like, look, I'm great, when nobody's paying your shit any attention. In the world of everything being digital and being online, and being content creators, like, is rough. is really, really rough, because it's everyone wants to tell you about how the algorithm works and this, that, and the third, and you got to do this to appease the algorithm god, and you have to do that to appease the algorithm god, and you got to post at this point in time and look at the data to figure out what point in time is the, and maybe some of that does have, but what I'm telling you is the content that has done the best for me was the content that like I just put out there from a real level. Like I think my best, highest viewed video was my life after total colectomy video, both the 2017 video and the 2023 video. Because it was just me being real, like, and it's like stuff that helped people and was stuff that people really needed to know. And I gave the raw, the no frills, no fluff examples of, and I talked about the really uncomfortable things, and it was stuff that I needed to hear and know about prior to me having my colectomy surgery, and then there was nothing on it. So again, it's like if you're solving a problem for somebody, it's, you know, like they've got questions, they're digging for the answers. It doesn't matter what time you put that damn content out. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just because it's a need and it came from a selfless place. Like I did not put those videos out there and being like, this is about to be a viral hit. Never. I didn't. And honestly, like a part of me was embarrassed because I talked about, you know, like you got to talk about your booty, you got to talk about your poop, you know. It's a weird, it was a vulnerable video, both very vulnerable topics talking about these things. But this is what I'm saying, like I wasn't doing all this extra to try and get results. And I think doubly, that's what makes it even more frustrating is when like you're following all the protocols and you spent all this damn money on courses that are trying to tell you how you're going to become viral, you know, in 30 days, follow this blueprint and post 19 times a day at this specific time and go and like and comment and do and this and all these people's things and this, that, and the third, and it'll get you this and it'll get you that. This is why people are even more so frustrated over like not seeing results when they've invested all this, but you don't control the outcome. You just don't. And that's you trying to like micromanage the universe. That's you trying to play God source universe, and God source universe combats that. Okay, so I see you're trying to like force your will to happen here before it's meant to happen. You know, example really, I think that video popped off, the first total colectomy, life after total colectomy video popped off, I think a year after I posted it. So it was just sitting there. I didn't promote it. It's not like I was out there spending a bunch of cash on Google, whatever, to try and get views on it. Again, like I said, it was embarrassing, so I really didn't tell anybody. I think I put it on my blog and that was it. And then that's it. I just let it do what it does and that's it. You know, the whole just post it and get off is probably the best method that I can tell you. Like the watched pot never boils. And everything happens at a divine time frame. So the people who are, and I think it's even worse for people who have come from like business background aspect of things where they're used to doing things in the old system. So like what do I mean by old system? Like the old system worked off of like the hustle. There was a specific blueprint that the old system worked on, especially in like a corporate setting. In a business world kind of setting, there was a blueprint that everybody followed within this category, and it would churn profit. It would churn results. It would churn traffic. It would churn customers. It would churn returning clients, things of this nature. I've said it in a large variety of videos that system has collapsed. It's like gone. It's obsolete. It will no longer be receiving any more updates. So like nothing is going to be poured into that system any longer, and you know, nothing can be built from that system any longer. So like people who are still on that old operating system are very quickly like burning out, getting frustrated, you know, and smacking the invisible wall of resistance, you know, and kind of driving themselves crazy because they're like, I don't understand, why is this not working? And so there's especially the ones who are coming, like I said, coming from the business aspect and, you know, trying to like into spiritual, like say you were like a dentist in the business world, but then like you had some sort of spiritual awakening and now you're trying to get a side hustle of doing some sort of spiritual business, right? But you're trying to bring over like the old system business blueprint and ways of doing things onto the new system, and it's not compatible. It's not gonna work. Like, you have to let the masculine approach to things kind of take passenger seat, kind of take back seat, in order to more effortlessly accept this new system, this new way of living, thinking, breathing, doing, acting, being, because it operates off of energy. It operates off of alignment. It operates off of mentality, frequency, vibration, soul work, open and active chakras. Like, I said this in the chakra series, and again, I know I'm being redundant here, but if you've not seen over on the Patreon the chakra series, it's really pertinent information. I think I put one or two, the crown chakra and the first video of the root and sacral chakra, for free on YouTube. But really, really pertinent, important information in these of exactly what I'm talking about here. If your chakras are closed, still damaged, wounded, blocked, not operable, it makes it next to impossible for you to be able to navigate here in this new system, because the new system requires your energetic alignment for things to come in, and it requires you to be able to play the red light, green light with God, source, universe. Right. So if you're getting the green light to go ahead and create something, go ahead and post something, go ahead and start a new, whatever it is, whatever the case may be here, put the example in for you here. But if you got that green light, then like go ahead, create to your heart's content, and you'll feel that intuitively led, pull to create, to do things. But then, like, when God, source, universe gives you the red light to stop doing something, to stop creating, to not do any motion, to not do any, posting or creating or publishing or whatever the case may be, like, you gotta stop. But what's happening is people from the old system, people still operating from the old system, are like just still operating on that, going through the red lights, and God, source, universe is like, what are you doing? That's not gonna happen. And so a lot of their stuff is flopping. Like, they're not yielding any results. Their crops are not yielding any results, to come full circle here, because you've not listened. You're not following the directions to God, source, universe, that the cues that you're being given, and that plays a huge part in being able to have access to your feminine side. This goes both ways for regardless what gender you are, have to have your feminine part active and be willing to listen to your feminine part, because the feminine part is the one that's like getting the intuitive guidance on what to post, when to post, what to write, what to not write, what to, whatever it is, what to create, what not to create, kind of thing, and when to do so, right? So your feminine side has the ability to see the red light and the green light. And that's that third eye, that's that crown chakra, that's that heart chakra connection, that's that throat chakra connection. You gotta. But then your lower chakras is the masculine, so having your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, and your root chakra is what's going to allow you to take that action when you get the intuitive guidance to do so. But again, if you're still on the old operating system, like, it's tragic, like, it's trash. It makes it, like I said, next to impossible to be able to operate on the new system. So when you start trying to do the switch over onto this new way of existing, new way of doing things, it requires you to really, really have faith in this process, even when you're not seeing the progress, because you're not going to see the progress right off the bat. You're really not. In this whole old world thing of thinking with this instant gratification is really messing a lot of people up, and it's hard. it's hard to sit there and watch things that you have spent a lot of time and effort into creating or publishing or posting or whatever the case may be, building, like not be received. And I'm going to keep it a buck hundred with y'all. It will make you feel like a failure always, constantly. And it's not time. Everything now is on, like I said, a divinely timed schedule. So it's like when it needs to flourish, when the people who need to receive it have reached, this is the baton thing, have reached the point of grabbing the baton to be able to receive whatever it is that you were guided, destined to be creating. That's when it will flourish. That's when it will sprout above the ground for people to be like, hey, what's that over there? And but not a moment before, because it is, everyone is here who has signed up for this Earth Project mission right now, this incarnation currently. You all have certain people that you were meant to work with, but like those people got to be, they have to have reached a certain point before they're able to perceive and receive you and what it is that you have to offer. So again, it doesn't matter how much you put out, when you put it out. It doesn't matter about the price. Like, your people, whenever they get to the point to where they're able to perceive and receive you, are going to work with you, buy your stuff, and support you regardless, because it's just is predestined. That's how God Source Universe has planned it. Y'all signed on the dotted line to work together prior to you guys incarnating here this lifetime. So it doesn't matter what your price is. It's not about your price. It's not about, the quality of your product that you're putting out. It's not about, like how you look. It's not about the aesthetics of your business, the website, whether you have a website or not. Like, it's about the divine timing of the things. And so while you're essentially waiting for your people to catch up to you, for your people to germinate and grow enough to be able to perceive and receive you, you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with like letting things, like grow, blossom in the background, letting it simmer in the background, without you seeing much, if any, results from a lot of the stuff that you will post or that you will create, that you will build, that you are producing, whatever the case may be. Like, a lot of times, a lot of songs or videos or things of this nature, like, they go viral some years, like years after people have actually created them and put them out. So like, don't you think that a lot of these people also felt the same way? And a lot of it goes back to artists. Like, a lot of artists were not appreciated in their time because the people who were going to appreciate them weren't alive at the time. Do you understand what I'm saying here? And like, it sucks to be ahead of your time, be ahead of your people, be ahead of, the ones that you came here to serve, the ones that you came here to lead, the ones that you came here to inspire, the ones that you came here to throw the lifeline out to. Like, it's rough, especially again if you are a content creator. I'm definitely speaking to you guys because it's speaking. It takes one to know one. Speaking from the experience here, even now it's rough when I post things. I always want it to just be for the highest good of all. I just want it to help somebody, at some point, regardless. I just want to know that I've made a difference in somebody's life in some way, shape, or form. And so that's why it means so much to me. Like, I don't really care whether if you like the video, great. Like, if you actually physically hit the like button, great. But like, I love when people leave a comment and be like, I really needed this, because like, for me, I'm like, dharma fulfilled. I've done my, yes. Every day I have the goal of wanting to help at least one person, make a difference in one person's life every day. And any additional lives that I impact beyond that, that's just a bonus. That's like chef's kiss to me. But I had to get to the point a long time ago. Especially, let me tell y'all about TikTok real quick. Because since TikTok got taken down and then turned off and then turned back on, like, it ain't been the same. All right. So like it's yeah, yeah. If you know, you know. But like it is it's anyways. So I had to stop caring about social media in general. I tell you guys frequently, I just get on and post my shit and then I get off. But even more so doubly now, like on TikTok, like I'll post some stuff occasionally, but like the numbers have been wonky since the on off thing. So it is what it is, but you have to be in this and committed to why you're doing this, and your why can't be rooted in the money or the views. Because if that's your only motivation for doing this, you're going to fizzle. You're going to fizzle quick. You're going to fizzle fast. You're going to quit fizzle hard. It's going to be a really detrimental process for you. And you're just going to be like spinning your wheels and burning out very frequently, very fast, because you're not going to get both either quickly. It's a painstakingly slow process, and your why of why you're creating content, why of why you're trying to be, you know, in this business again, especially if you're trying to do spiritual stuff, if you're in the spiritual business of any way, shape, or form, like your people are battling a lot of things trying to get out. And if again, I keep going back to the chakra series here, but like I said this, I think in the third eye chakra series, where there's like a lot of booby traps that have been set for those who have made the decision to try and get out of the old system and come over into the new, to leave the Mariana Trench and come into the light, come to the surface. Right, whatever example you want to have here of this, but they have trapped booby trapped they have booby trapped that the field, so to speak, heavily. And again, if their chakras aren't open and aligned, they're going to it's going to be next to impossible for them to get out. So again, you know, you have the baton, you're like waiting for the baton for them, and they have it, but like they're getting hung up in the field of traps. So there are delays that have been happening with the people that a lot of my spiritual star family members are supposed to be helping, leading, and guiding. You know, like they're coming through, they're trickling through, you know, slowly but surely. But it's because the obstacle course is tough. It's tough getting out, and it's by design, like because you know what I mean. Like it's rite of passage, and not everybody's gonna get there, and that's just what it is. While we are waiting for these people to be able to come through and get out of the obstacle course, to catch up to us, to be able to see the nuggets that we have left for them, to take the lifelines that we've thrown out for them, you know, to follow the trail that we've left for them through the forest and the thickets and the bushes and all the things. We have to maintain faith in the process, even when you're not seeing the progress. And it's easier said than done. You will get frustrated. You know, you will be tired of, you know, watching others, and you have to kind of watch yourself with that as well. And again, speaking from my own personal experience, it's hard. It's hard to see others succeeding, you know, or getting the recognition or getting the clients, but you have to understand not all of us have the exact same mission. And some of us whose missions are kind of like, say, like special ops missions, you know, our people are kind of going through it the most. Like we're having more of a delay in the gratification. And it is what it is. That's part of it. And you, again, you just have to be okay with confident in yourself, confident in what it is that you're producing, confident, and having that unwavering faith in God's source universe, that things are going to come when they need to come, and that you will be received when you are meant to be received, and be okay with how things are, and stop looking externally. You know, there is no competition outside of the self. right? It's just you versus you trying to be the best version of yourself every single day, you trying to top what it is that you did the previous day, you trying to be the better version of yourself than you were last week, last month, last year. That's, if you want to look at competition, look at your past versions of self. That's who you're competing against. Don't worry about it, because we not all doing the same mission, especially those of you in the 250, my V squad people. It's rough out here in these streets. The times for us and our like really deep struggles is over with. We're still waiting for our people to come through the obstacle course. And it's, please just use this time to work on whatever creations it is that God Source Universe is planting the seed within you to plant the seed into the earth for, and allow yourself this time to nourish yourself, revamp yourself, because we've been through some shit. Yeah, it's it's not a forever thing, and also watch your energy, watch your energetic input and output. I say this frequently. If your energy is giving off desperation, if your energy is giving off, like victim mentality, if your energy is giving off unworthy of successness, if your energy is giving off any kind of like inherently negative vibes, God's universe is going to be like, let me hold off, because it's conflicting, and in this system everything is energy based. So like whatever it is that you're trying to bring in, if your energy is off, like don't produce something. Even if you have to reschedule things, like if your energy is crap and you in like a grimy ass mood, don't hop on a podcast, like don't do a recording, don't do, like, because that energy goes into whatever it is that you're producing, creating, posting, writing, whatever the case may be. When I wrote my book and when I made my oracle deck, I took breaks from writing both, creating the deck and writing my book, when my energy was down, when like I wasn't in the best mood, when I wasn't in the best headspace, when I was like an emotional mess. Both times I was going through some really dark things. And so I alchemized it, right? Like I turned that pain into gain, and I put it into whatever I was creating. But like in that alchemy process, I made sure that I took time to grieve, to cry, to be angry, to be sad, to go outside and ground and spend a lot of time out in nature. And then once I did that, I would come back in and get back into work with whatever it was I was creating at the time, be it the book or the oracle deck. And because I knew my energetic input and output. So I also say this frequently in a lot of the things that I do, but it's so important for you to know yourself and know your energy, know know your energetic input when you're, giving something, know your energetic output out into the universe, like when you're putting in, like I said, when you're creating something, your energetic input that's going into that, when you in your energetic output out into the world, into the universe, especially when you're trying to like manifest something, and because it everything, you're placing like an energetic order. And if your if your energy is like giving lack, desperation, thirsty, if you're like giving thirsty energy, God Source Universe is gonna be like, ew, ew, no, like you're like, look, I'm not you, unhand me, call, get off me, show some dignity. Literally, you have to, number one, like you have to feel like you're worthy of whatever it is that you have to be, you have to feel like you're worthy of success. You have to feel like you're worthy of, the prices that you're putting your services at. You need to feel like you're worthy of being supported. You need to feel like you're worthy of being respected or admired or whatever the case may be, not from like an arrogant, cocky, like egotistical mindset kind of thing, but like you need to know deep within yourself who you are in accordance to God's source universe, and have that deep confidence in self love. Like you need to be so confident and grounded and love yourself enough so much that like the external things don't matter. So like when you're not seeing results in the physical, like when you have to wait, like you still need to know that your shit's fire when you're posting it. Like regardless if nobody sees it for a year, your shit was still fire. Even if you like create the like Mona Lisa 2, like something of this grandiose type of sculpting or painting or architecture, something of this nature. Like you still need to know, even if nobody comes to the art exhibit, you still need to know like this shit's fire. And like, don't let the lack of external validation diminish your self-confidence and self-love and self-worth, because then it starts messing with your energy, and then you've created like a firmament around your energetic space, your like crown chakra, that kind of intercepts the manifestations that you've sent out to God Source Universe to try to bring into you. And then God Source Universe is going to be like, what is this conflicting signal that you're giving me here? Like, do you want this or not? Like, do you feel like you're worthy of this or not? What happened? Like 10 minutes ago, everything was in alignment, but like now you're in shambles. What is this? Ew, so it's not an overnight thing. You just have to become cognizant and aware of your energy, when your energy ebbs, when your energy flows, when your energy is up, when your energy is down, and act accordingly, adjust accordingly to these things. There is no thing of like, I'm just love and light all the time, I'm always happy, nothing makes me mad. Like that, red flag, red flag, red flag. Because no, your energy ebbs and flows all the time. And while my 215 especially, like we are on earth but not of earth, and like, but we chose to be here in a human physical vessel to experience all the things, the highs, the lows, the happies, the sads, the angries, the mads. Like, you're supposed to feel all the things. We are literally the universe in a physical carbon embodiment right now, experiencing all the things. And so you need to allow yourself to feel all the things, let your emotions ebb and flow. But like when you're not in the greatest of energy, don't be out there trying to create stuff and interact with people, trying to spread that like not great energy out into the world, into the universe, because it's we don't need to be like a part of the issue. So that's a part of that red light green light thing. That's a part of you learning yourself, knowing thyself, knowing your energy, knowing what your baseline energy is like, and following your intuitive cues when you need to rest, when you need to stop, when you need to create. Stop, go. And yeah, it's a lot that goes into it, but it's so crucial that, again, you know yourself, you take time to heal when you're going through some things, and that you honor yourself and your emotions, and that you become so and confident with and filled with so much self-love and self-worth, like from within, that nothing on the outside can make you feel jaded or make you feel less than, especially because you're not seeing, or because you're not getting external validation. It is hard, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm not going to blow smoke here. Like, it goes against everything that's like human within us, because we all want to be seen, loved, and admired and respected for the work that we are doing or producing or putting out there, especially when it's for the highest good of all, like especially when the intent is to help people who need it, and then like not getting results from it. It hurts, it does, it hurts, but you have to understand why it's that way, why it's happening, and be okay with it beyond that, and not continue to take it personally, and not continue to let it affect your energy and all the things, around that. So that's essentially what I had, is to talk about that, of just staying committed to the process even when you can't see the progress. Like I said, I know it's an easier said than done thing, but it will help you in the long run. But please learn to start to master yourself, master your energy, master your mind, and honor yourself. We're all doing the best that we can here, but this looking externally and looking at others as competition and comparing, because again, especially if you are a 250, we are on a completely different mission than like 250 souls out of how many other billions that are on this planet. Like, it's not many of us that are doing this specific thing. And I know, like, I'm telling you guys from full experience, it's hard. It's so hard when there's so many, and then feeling like you're an outsider because you everyone else has like a group that they can, that they belong to, or that they feel like they're a part of. And a lot of us in the 250, we don't have that. A lot of my V squad people, we don't feel that because we are different. We are obviously one of the we all come from God's source universe, but like, we're just, and it can feel, it sucks, we, because we know what that oneness feels like more than anyone. And not being able to feel that within a set community, while seeing others find people who are very, very, very much like them, and grouping up and clicking up and having, that close knit community for them. Like, I have Saturn in my 11th house of Aquarius. And it's all about the 11th house of Aquarius is all about that. It's all about the community. It's all about what's it called? Like, being I forgot the word for it now. Like, where you're like an advocate and, humanitarian, and not being able to, but having the Saturn in it really does it. Like, it means you feel like the outsider, because you don't have a community, like, you don't have that feeling of connection and group, and you feel that throughout your life. And no lies were told there. It doesn't matter how much I want to be involved with people. Like, I do know, that I'm different, and I just want to put that out there from my V squad people. Hard. It is really hard, especially when you see others, like I said, grouped up, clicked up in the communities, and then like their businesses thriving because they have their community supporting them and backing them and helping them and doing the things. And then, like, you're just like, I know it's hard, but our time is coming, and we are at the precipice of some really, really great things that are happening. So please just hang in there and keep up the good work, and give yourself credit for the things that you have done and accomplished, because it's some really amazing work that a lot of us have been doing. And I hope that you all know that you're really great, that you're very resilient souls, that you're doing amazing work for the betterment of humanity. And God's source universe is really proud of you. And with that being said, please don't forget to check out and subscribe to the Patreon. Like, give a subscribe to the YouTube here, and share this video with anybody that you think would benefit from it. And you can apply to work one-on-one with me now. The link will also be in the description, but it'll also be up here at the top that you can click on. And all the other things will be in the description box on how you can connect with me and all the things. And until next time, I'll see you. B Squad.